Friends, countrymen, Romans, lend me your ears. Just playing. But do mind me your mind for a moment because I'm back again with another section, actually, a whole nother chapter. The beginning of chapter 7 of the book, A Course in Miracles. It just feels good to open the book up and find the place mark, the bookmark at the beginning of a new chapter. That feels really good. It's a um, it's a confirmation of a continuation. You know, I think I said it before in another video. I think I was maybe chapter 4 or chapter 5 that I opened it up and I didn't remember that I was on a new chapter before I started the video. Like I said, I don't read these ahead of time. I read them with you. I read them for you. I read them to share them with you because that is creating. In the book, it says that sharing is creating. Um, Today, chapter 7, the gifts of the kingdom. There are three, two, one. I was just flipping through it a moment ago while I was setting this whole scene up. There are three, four sections of the gifts of the kingdom. Oh, there are six. Now I'm confused. Lend me your mind for a moment so I can feel mine, please. The last step, the law of the kingdom, the reality of the kingdom, the healing as the recognition of truth, healing and the changeless mind, and also from vigilance to peace. I'm just reading all the sections. Never mind. Forget what I just did. Forget what I just said. Those are all the sections. There are a lot of sections to chapter 7. Remember, I read a section as close to a day as possible. A section almost every day, as close to a day as possible. And what I was doing, what I was believing I was doing, was thinking that there was multiple sections to this first one that I'm reading today. This is only 2 pages, as a matter of fact, very short. So again, mind me your mind for a moment while I continue with chapter 7. If you're just joining this channel, my name is Joseph, and it is my mission, my intention, my endeavor to continue reading this book, A Course in Miracles, after having completed the 1-year dedication, 1-year study for the workbook for students. And I had never read the text version, so I intended it to be that I read the text version this way and sharing it with anyone who ever comes across this video. But I read it to myself, for myself as well, of course. I'm learning from this right here, and my intention to learn as I teach with everyone, anyone, whoever comes across this type of content, this type of video, this type of material, because this is a learning tool. This is a divine learning tool. If you don't know, this book was a channeling by Jesus from a lady, Helen Schuckman, and it's called A Course in Miracles. If you are up onto that kind of content, up onto that kind of those type of books, esoteric readings, then this is the book for you. So I recommend you get a copy. I'm not sponsoring it. I'm not sponsored by it. I don't get any affiliations by it if you go buy it. But I do highly recommend you buy it. Without further ado, let's continue with these couple of pages. Like I said, mind me your minds for a moment. The last step. The creative power of God and his creations is limitless, but they are not in reciprocal relationship. You communicate fully with God, and he does with you. This is an ongoing process in which you share, and because you share it, you are inspired to create like God. Yet in creation, you are not in reciprocal relation to God, since he created you, but you did not create him. I've already told you that only in this respect, your creative power differs from his. Even in this world, even in this world, there is a parallel. Parents give birth to children, but children do not give birth to parents. They do, however, give birth to their children and thus give birth as their parents do. If you created God and He created you, the kingdom could not increase through its own creative thought. Creation would therefore be limited, and you would not be co created with God. As God's creative thought proceeds from Him to you, so must your creative thought proceed from you to your creations. Only in this way can all creative power extend outward. God's accomplishments are not yours, but yours are like His. He created the sonship, and you increase it. You have the power to add to the kingdom, though not to add to the creator of the kingdom. You claim this power when you become vigilant only for God and His kingdom. And by accepting this power as yours, you have learned to remember what you are. Your creations belong in you as you belong in God. You are part of God, as your sons are a part of His sons. To create is to love. Love extends outward simply because it cannot be contained. Being limitless, it does not stop. It creates forever, but not in time. God's creations have always been because He has always been. Your creations have always been because you can create only as God creates. Eternity is yours because He created you eternal. The ego, on the other hand, always demands reciprocal rights because it is competitive rather than loving. It is always willing to strike a bargain, but it cannot understand that to be like another means that no bargains are possible. To gain, you must give, not bargain. To bargain is to limit giving, and this is not God's will. To will with God is to create like Him. God does not limit His gifts in any way. You are His gifts. And so your gifts must be like His. Your gifts to the kingdom must be like His gifts to you. I gave only to the kingdom because I believed that was what I was. What you believe you are determines your gifts, and if God created you like by extending Himself as you, you can only extend yourself as He did. Only joy increases forever, since joy and eternity are inseparable. God extends outward beyond limits and beyond time, and you, who are co created with Him, extends His kingdom forever and beyond limit. Eternity is the indelible stamp of creation. The eternal are in peace and joy forever. To think like God is to share His certainty of what you are, and to create like Him is to share the perfect love He shares with you. To this, the Holy Spirit leads you, that your joy may be complete, because the kingdom of God is whole. I have said that the last step in the reawakening of knowledge is taken by God. This is true, but it is hard to explain in words because words are symbols, and nothing that is true need be explained. However, the Holy Spirit has the task of translating the useless into the useful, the meaningless into the meaningful, and the temporary into the timeless. He can therefore tell you something about this last step. God does not take steps because His accomplishments are not gradual. He does not teach because His creations are changeless. He does nothing last because He created first and for always. It must be understood that the word first, as implied to Him, is not a time concept. He is first in the sense that He is the first in the Holy Trinity itself, because He did. Time applies neither to Him nor to what He created. The last step that God will take was therefore true in the beginning, is true now, and will be true forever. What is timeless is always there because it's being is eternally changeless. It is not changed by increase because it was forever created to increase. If you perceive it as not increasing, you do not know what it is. You also do not know who created it. God does not reveal this to you because it was never hidden. His light was never obscured because it is His will to share it. He can, how can what is fully shared be withheld and then revealed? Very short one. But that concludes chapter 7, section 1, the last step. I was confused in a moment ago in the beginning, thinking that this one has several parts. Um, Actually, chapter 6, section 5 had several parts, but they were A, B, C. I remember that now. Um, this reads like poetry almost in a sense. That's why I'm glad I'm doing a section at a time. That way I can really digest it. Afterwards, I like I said, I read these with you. I read them for the first time. I don't scan ahead. I don't scan it and read it or even think about it beforehand. So whatever you're getting at this moment, I'm getting it at the same time. So, but like I said, it reads like a poetry in some senses. So you can check it out later on. You can go back to it and reread it or re-listen to it. What I do, I get to reread it after the fact. A lot of this so it's so like I said before, these words like vibratory to me. When I first heard esoteric reading, it stood out to me. Like I said, it read like poetry then too, and it stood out to me. It grabbed my attention. Really did grab my attention. So I'm drawn to these type of words. I'm drawn to this type of literature, this type of text. It speaks wholly to me. It really does. I don't know what to explain. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but it does. And I'm so grateful to be able to come back to this one and read another section today. Um, the wheel that I was on, that one day, one section a day. I think I got it to like 30 days straight before that wrench started getting in the way and things started to come around, and then you had to wait to do another section. And I was like anxious. I think I told you in the last section I was anxious to get back to it to read another section. And today is that day that I get to read another section. I want to say thank you for tuning into this video. Thank you for reading with me today. I hope you learned something today or at least found these words enlightening. Don't forget to check out the playlist at the end of this video where I show you there's all the videos I've done up until this point thus far. There's a playlist right down in the bottom right hand corner. And I'll remind you that this book is a course in miracles. It is a required course. Only thing that is not required is the length of time you take to complete it. Join me again next time while I read the law of the kingdom. Thank you, and I'll see you again next time.